Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Very Biased Opinions. It is Ian and Thomas with you, as always. We got the little hors d'oeuvre out of the way earlier on in the week, which is the Champions League, and we're ready for the main course, which is Europa League semi-finals first leg. Let's not waste any more time on this one. Let's go into this first leg. It is Villarreal versus Arsenal. Before you go on, let me just say, we're going to take a team each in this one, and usually you know that I will be jumping all over Arsenal, but the only reason I'm not is because Villarreal are called the Yellow Submarine, and being an Oxford United fan, that brings back too many proud moments of when we were a top flight club, so I have to be taking Villarreal in this one, which does leave Arsenal open to Thomas, so strap yourselves in, you could be in for a bumpy ride here.
I'm going to do my best to be impartial here, and I actually, for once, feel bad for Arsenal fans. It feels like every single player at Arsenal is injured right now, so I'm going to go over the lineup that we can expect. Own goal himself, Mr. Bernd Leno, is probably starting in goal. It looks like Callum Chambers is starting on the right. I see that Bellerin was on the bench in the last match, but he didn't come on, as far as I can tell, which makes me think he might not be fit enough to start against Villarreal. It looks like Rob Holding and Pablo Mari will be at center back. Gabriel, again, didn't come on in the last match. He's had an injury. The Arsenal team could be anybody at this point. Granit Xhaka played left back in the last match, and I think we have to expect him to play left back in this match as well. He's played left back for the last couple games. And you know what? He hasn't gotten himself sent off or done anything truly petulant yet, so maybe it'll work out for him. They play two defensive holding midfielders almost every game, so we can expect to see Ceballos and Thomas Partey there. Here's where it gets a little bit more interesting. So we would expect Saka, Emile Smith-Rowe, and Nicolas Pepe to play in behind probably Eddie Nketiah. But we're not 100% sure that. Odegaard's coming back. Does he knock Emile Smith-Rowe out of the team? And if he does, why is the best player at Arsenal right now basically being knocked out of the team? They are so much better when they let their young players play. Emile Smith-Rowe has been absolutely awesome this year. He clearly has a connection with Bakary Saka. Whenever they're together, you see the passing and the intricate play between the two of them, almost like they've been playing together like they were kids, since they were kids. And Eddie Nketiah is a bit the same. He's come up with a couple of these guys. He looks mercurial, for lack of a better word. Sometimes I think he's really good, and sometimes I'm confused why he's on the team. But I still back him over Lacazette and Aubameyang at this point. Equally, we haven't seen either of them recently. Neither of them are on the bench. We know Aubameyang has malaria. I think Lacazette's carrying a knock from their last European match. Willian will be on the bench. Gabriel Martinelli is back, but he seems to be coming off the bench right now, and I think they know he's not quite fit enough to play a whole game. So I think he could be a real game changer who can come on in the final 30 or 40 minutes if they're chasing it. I'd like to see Reece Nelson get a game if he can, but I've given you the lineup I expect. I think this could be a really tough game for Arsenal. They're just not coming into this with great form. They're not coming into this with their full first team. And I'm going to be totally honest with you. A Cone would probably be a better manager than Arteta. So who knows what he's going to do.
I think Lacazette will play. I just have a feeling that they weren't going to risk him for league. This is all their eggs are in this basket. It doesn't matter if they lose every league game. They are literally thinking we're 3 games away and we've got a trophy in the Champions League. So anybody that's half fit is going to be playing in this one as opposed to like Premier League games. So I would be surprised if Nketiah started instead of Martinelli or Lacazette, but we will see. And interesting that you said a Combe would do a better job. Well, that is ironically who they had in charge before Arteta, which was Unai Emery, who is in charge of this Villarreal side. So it is a return against his former club for the Spanish waiter. And as you know, he is a guy that loves this Europa League tournament. And so it's no surprise that he's guided his Villarreal side to the semi-final stage. It's not the strongest competition, we have to say. They're not the strongest 4 sides left in it. And only Man United are guaranteed really Champions League football. So all these other 3 sides, this is like their only shot to get into the Champions League. You won't like this, Tom, but they play 4-4-2. They're very, very rigid to that.
Out.
Yeah, but they are a side that likes to control possession, and they like to ideally they don't really play with width. They play down the middle and they try and get through balls through to their two strikers, Moreno and Alastair. And that's the way they're really going to try and hurt Arsenal. Arsenal don't have the strongest defence, as we know, and they're prone to making errors. So the main way Villarreal are just going to try and keep Arsenal at bay is probably just sit deep, not let Arsenal kind of hit them on the break, control the ball, and eventually just try and wear them down. A little bit like Sevilla, really, in the way they play, in terms of just try and control it, take the sting out of any game, and then just kind of make the most of the chances that come about. And they had quite a favourable draw in the quarterfinals. They got to play Dinamo Zagreb, and they overcame them quite easily. So Arsenal was certainly a bigger test for this Villarreal side, which I don't think they're a great side either. I don't think either one of these sides are particularly great. It could ironically come down to who makes the least mistakes, which doesn't bode well for the Gunners, let's be fair. But in terms of a prediction, and remember, they have got ex-Tottenham's Etienne Capoue in there as well, as a bit of a journeyman in there. So it should be an interesting game. Arsenal do seem to save their best performances for the Europa League. I'm going to be backing Arsenal. Of course I am, you know it. I'm going to say somehow Arsenal come away with a 2-1 victory in this one.
Yeah. I'm going to go with a classic 0-0 draw.
He can't do it. He can't do it. He wanted to back Arsenal, but he just couldn't do it.
Can't do it. I can't do it.
One game down, one game to go. No question about it. This is the main event.
Manchester United versus AS Roma.
You would have to say Manchester United would be clear favourites in this one, but that's not to say Roma aren't a good side as well. The one thing I want to bring up straight away is Roma's badge. I've wanted to talk about this for a while. What the fuck? Why have you got two kids suckling a dog?
That's the story of Rome, my friend.
What?
Yeah, Remus and Romulus. Yeah, they were alone, and this wolf raised them, and on the spot where they were raised, they founded the city of Rome.
Oh well, I bow down to your knowledge on that one, Tom. I thought it was some. I thought it was some. I don't even want to know where my mind went with it. But anyway, enough of that. Let's throw it over to the resident expert and Manchester United fan to talk how the Red Devils are going to pick their way through this one.
Yeah, there's a couple really interesting things I think we're going to see in this match, Ian. United are the clear favourites. They are on great run of form, both internationally and nationally. They are pretty much the best of the rest in the Premier League. But it's the lineup that they're going to play in this game that's going to be really interesting. David De Gea and Dean Henderson seem to be in a really even time split right now. So it looks like David De Gea will be in goal. We've seen it be world-class for most of his career. It's a pretty safe pair of hands. We know Shaw is going to start at left back. We know Aaron Wan-Bissaka is going to start at right back. And we know Harry Maguire and Victor Lindelof will start at center backs. This team, it picks 90% of itself. He's mad if he picks anything other than Scott McTominay and Paul Pogba as his center midfielders, with Tominay holding and Paul doing what he's finally been let free, it feels like, at Man United. And they've just gone, whenever you have the ball, do what you want to do with it, Paul. Find yourself where you want to find yourself, and everything else will work out around it. And Paul Pogba's in a really rich vein of form right now. We know Bruno Fernandes is going to play the center attacking midfield position. This is where I'm going to get annoyed. Edinson Cavani should start at striker. Everything tells you he should start at striker. But everything about Ole Gunnar Solsjkaer tells us that will not be the case. He leaves him out of every big game. Every one of them. Mason Greenwood started at the tie against Granada, which was already won for Man United, and you would have thought that they would have just thrown Cavani out there to let him get a bit of fitness. No, they started Mason Greenwood, but Mason Greenwood has been on an incredible run of form. So come hell or high water, Edinson Cavani starts up front. He should be flanked by Rashford and Greenwood. Both of them can score goals, but Edinson Cavani, you can even see him just being like, give me the ball and I'll put it in the back of the net. Like, why are you making such hard work of this? Why are you never in the box? Just stand in the box. He's the only player that does it. But this United side, on paper, on the pitch, they are way too good. And I would not be surprised if he goes full bore in this and lets the team loose and tells them to attack. He's done that in Europe at every leg thus far. And I do not think, can handle losing another semifinal. He loses another semifinal and there's good reason to sack him. So that's the team I see. I see United playing a really well, not fluid, solid football because they never do, but they'll play their game. They'll score goals. It's going to be open. They'll probably concede. And I'm just going to give my score prediction now. I think it's going to be 3-1 to Man United.
I think if Man United do come out and play too gung-ho, they could be picked off by this Roma side. They're a much better outfit than like a Sociedad or a Granada. And we saw Man United they're much more like the AC Milan side that we saw them play, who Man United, it was a very, very nip and tuck game. Either side could have gone through, but Man United found a way to win that one. You've got Paulo Fonseca in charge of Roma, who's one of these managers that's hailed for great things in the future. And he has done a pretty good job. They play some pretty good football. They're a very exciting side, but it's not been good enough to get them into a Champions League position. So, again, like with Arsenal and like with Villarreal, this is their only chance of getting into the Champions League next season. The one thing with Roma is they like to play on the counter-attack. So if Man United do come onto them, they've got the pace out wide and they've got the experience up top to kind of hurt Man United. They've got this kind of they play three at the back, and obviously ex-Man United. Is Smalling going to be playing in this game? Is he a Roma player?
He is, but I think he's been injured for a large period of the year. I know he's had some problems with injury since he joined them this year. It says Smalling returned to full group training 2 days ago, and that his house was recently robbed at knife point while him and his family were in it.
Okay. Going a bit off topic there. There we go. I hope he's all right. Both on and off the pitch. But if he does play, I think they'll play Mancini, they'll play Smalling, they'll play Ibanez as the back, and then they've got two guys, Villa and Veretout in front, who let's hold, and then they've got the wing backs and the three up front, which just kind of like bomb on and provide all the creativity. Now I'm going to butcher these names. I'm going to butcher them straight up the top. Karsdorp, Spinazzola as the two wide players with the pace. Don't know how to say them. Put it down in the comments. And then we've got more familiar, experienced players at the top, like in Pedro, Mkhitaryan, and Dzeko. I think Man United might struggle against Dzeko. We saw Chris Wood in Burnley give Maguire and Lindelof a pretty hard time in the game they had recently. And Dzeko, he's a target man. He's good in the air, and I think he'll try and bully Maguire and Lindelof in this game. So Man United need to be on their mettle in that one. But I do see Roma as being a pretty solid side, and they don't give a lot away. And I think this one might be a little bit more lip and tuck than you're expecting. I could actually see it being to get my score out of the way, to throw it in there. I actually think this one might be a draw, like what we saw Man United against AC Milan, which isn't the end of the world. People talked about it as being a terrible result for Man United, but we've seen Man United overcame it. Arsenal overcame it when they drew 1-1 with Slavia Prague. It's not the end of the world. So I think this one's going to be quite a cagey game, and I think it's going to be a 1-1 draw.
It is really hard for me as a Man United fan to actually try and analyze them, because I don't trust the management structure to actually have a firm game plan.
And he chokes in semi-finals.
He does, but that's why I think it's going to be an open match, because it seems like he thinks he needs to go out and have his team score 5 goals in the Europa League every time to prove that they're Man United in the Europa League. And so I think they're going to go for it in this. It's only been against essentially the top 4 or 5 clubs in England we've seen him play this incredibly defensive style. But I've forgotten about Dzeko, and he is going to cause Harry Maguire fits.
Look, if I say it's going to be cagey and you say it's going to be open, then no matter what, people are going to say Very Biased Opinions got it right.
That's right. We are very clever. And on that note, thank you to all of you for watching this. If you'd like to support the channel, the details are on the screen and below. Please join our Patreon. But no matter what, please smash the like button, hit subscribe, keep your comments going below, and we will see you for
something.
And we will see you for our next round of Premier League, League One, Oxford, Europa League, or Champions League predictions.